A fantastic night for soccer in Asheville, the Look Homeward pregame show as we get ready for East Atlanta Football Club taking on the Asheville City Soccer Club. I'm Matt Stradley here with Tim Blakicki, and we thanks for you for joining us first off. And second off, what a fantastic chill to the air. Oh, this is what soccer's all about.
After a couple gross, grimy, wet nights between the Dalton game and the threat at the Eagles game, this is gorgeous.
It is perfect. Just a little chill that doesn't usually accompany a June in Asheville. Not all the humidity that you're used to seeing. This isn't a third outfit change of the day for me. It's a fantastic day for soccer, and one that should have these athletes really striving at a high level.
I don't know if it provides any sort of competitive advantage. I would imagine our opponents from, I guess they would be from East Conyers, a little east of Atlanta, but just equally as hot. Yeah, it's definitely a temperature change for them and a little bit of a routine change, I would imagine.
Slightly overcast as you look west and north, but if you're staring east and south like we are, gorgeous blue skies over the pitch. Is that a portent of things to come for the Blues?
I hope so. I mean, goodness gracious, we the men are on a rough patch at the moment after undefeated at home, and we're back at home. But these last two away games did them no favors in terms of the table. I don't necessarily know how in a 14-game schedule a pair of losses like that wreak havoc on mentality or momentum or sporting ambition. I would imagine it's a little discombobulating and a little bit discouraging. As we have portended all season long, though, this table continues to cannibalize itself. You just recently saw last night, league leaders, SC United Bantams, went down to Dalton 3-0. Tormenta beat the Eagles 3-1, I think, maybe 3-0. Everybody's beating up on each other. It's not a surprise that oh goodness gracious, that midweek game last week against the Eagles, for both the men and the women, it was hellaciously hot. It is an imperfect stadium situation they have down there for their midweek kind of what they consider minor games. Locker rooms are hard to come by. Halftime, you don't get to get out of the heat. You just get to get under kind of a 10 by 10 tent. Not ideal circumstances. I really hope the Eagles kind of take a hard look at themselves in the mirror and reconsider some of the accoutrements that are coming with what they are calling a pre-professional game down there. It just doesn't do anybody any favors. But then, whereas our women came up and rectified their table situation, the men went down to Southern Soccer Academy and struggled. By all accounts, it seemed like they had the better run of the game, but in I think within 90 seconds they went down 2-0 and weren't able to recover in the torrential downpours down there. And they now find themselves with a game in hand because we still have this Dalton game that needs to be finished. So everybody else, I believe, has played 9 games. Asheville showing 8. It's really 8.5. We have that 1-0 lead going into the second half of that game when it restarts. I don't know. Games in hand are always so hard to kind of speculate on what's going to happen. Even a 45-minute game with a 1-0 lead. But I don't know. The top 3, the playoff circumstances finally came out this week. They've been kind of brewing for a while. It's not a true representation of what will happen in the future.
Sure.
In the future, number 1 in the Carolinas division in the Deep South will go number 1. That's it. Only 16 teams go. It's kind of what happens in the WPSL. There's 3 southern divisions, and it'll be the top 1 and then the best second place.
Okay.
At the moment, the class apparently looks like the combination of the NC Fusion and West Virginia United. They're just absolutely running away with their division up there. So if this were a traditional year, Asheville would be nowhere close to a playoff spot whatsoever. Because of COVID and because of some restructuring, it's going to be the top 3 in our division. The Bantams continue to have a pretty extreme advantage that they're running away with. Tormenta's pretty solidly number 2. That 3rd spot is just completely up for grabs. I believe the Independents at the current moment are populating that spot. We drew with them 1-1. We still play them away here shortly. The Eagles, they dropped points. That was good for us. East Atlanta, they're kind of nipping at Asheville's heels. If we win this and then we finish that Dalton game, I think we kind of take a bit of a commanding lead for that 3rd position, but it's still all up in the air and everything's to play for.
With that, we go to Extra Time, one of my favorite features. It's where a official, this time we're going to use a van official, my producer, Ryan Yohe, is going to give me a certain amount of time, and Tim will have free reign for that amount of time to talk about whatever it is he wishes within reason, hopefully around soccer. Absolutely. But whatever, you know what? I said what I said. I can't change the rules now. Looking to the van, and our producer's giving me the 2 minutes signal. So, Tim, 2 minutes of extra time.
So we are actually going to take a step back in time, back to the first extra Tim time.
I like that.
I did when on the day that it was announced, the MLS minor league D3 system was announced by the Athletic. As of 2 days ago, it was officially announced, which means MLS will be filing for sanctioning with the USSF to make this an actual league. They have said that as early as next year, they expect 20 teams, 20 clubs to populate this D3 league, and that they had already pulled some of their 2 and B teams that basically is their reserve teams that were playing in USL. They had pulled them or had plans to pull them. They're going to pull other 2 and B teams, but they have said that there is an opportunity to provide for independent clubs within the system. I'm going to be very straight and blunt to this point. I hope any independent club with any true ambition in this country. Is this my camera? Is this my camera?
That's you, right
All
there.
right.
Yeah.
Any independent club in this country with true ambition, whether you are USL, whether you are NISA, whether you are League 2, whether you are NPSL, please talk to your community members about the pros and cons of joining this MLS D3 club, D3 league. It's going to come down to player development. It's going to come down to soccer is one of the few sports, unlike baseball and their minor league system, where Asheville City, as an independent club, could eventually sell a player and reap the benefits of having invested in that player. And that investment can be put back into the community and eventually bring in other local players. If you enter into an agreement with MLS, you are evaporating those chances. This isn't about the pros and cons. This isn't about the black and white. This is about your community. Invest in your community, invest in your women, invest in your youth. Please.
Fantastic. I find those points hard to disagree with. Tim, thank you for the extra time feature. We're going to take a break. On the other side, we're going to review the last couple of games for the Blues, both on the women's and men's side. We're going to bring in Bronwyn Lutweiler. A little bit later, we have Tim Womack from Chris Womack. I got Tim right here.
Take one game off and your tongue's fat in your mouth.
It's crazy. We have Chris Womack coming to us from WLOS. He's going to be our special analyst for pregame and halftime. Looking forward to having him with us as well. We'll take a short break on the Look Homeward pregame show.
Hey soccer fans, it's time to belong, believe, and be blue. At Ingalls Markets, we are proud to be the official sponsor of your Asheville City Soccer Club. Our men's and women's teams are poised for another great season of exciting action on the pitch. You bring the energy, and we'll bring the food. Go big and go Blues. Ingalls, your official sponsor of Asheville City Soccer Club.
Introducing the new pediatric ER at Mission Hospital. Designed just for kids.
To bring us in to the Look Homeward pregame show. East Atlanta FC, Asheville City Soccer Club. I'm Matt Stradley here with Tim Lekicki and Bronwyn Lutweiler, and we're going to look at the last 4 games for Asheville City. Let's start with the women's team because they had an interesting week. They went down to Charlotte, lost a tough one, 3-0, came right back to Greenwood Field in front of the home crowd and won 1-0. Bronwyn, I'll ask you this because you've had that experience in college where you played against a team, it didn't go well, then you go and play again and it's a completely different story. Is there a mentality shift because of the first game, or what happens?
Well, when you're playing a team twice back-to-back, it's totally mental. It's less about what you're doing tactically and more about how you're managing your players mentally and how individual players are managing themselves and expectations. And Asheville knew that the Charlotte Eagles were going to be their top competition, and they also knew that they had a huge home field advantage with the Blues here at Greenwood. So coming back to Greenwood, they were definitely excited. They were ready to go. They had the upper hand because of the home field advantage that Greenwood has, but also because once you beat a team, like Charlotte beat Asheville, you expect to beat them again. So I think Charlotte had their work cut out for them. They did not expect what Greenwood provided for Asheville, and Asheville came out on the upper hand because of the sheer energy that is here at this field.
Tim, you have a finger on the pulse of the South Slope Blues, a very spirited, I think, but a club that really loves this club. It's a group of supporters for the fans who are watching maybe for the first time that make a lot of noise and show a lot of support for the club. With your sort of insight, did the Blues, the South Slope Blues, did they take it upon themselves to sort of get a little revenge to make sure that they were there for the team?
Oh, 1,000,000%. And this dates back to 2018 when we played the Eagles for the first time. We were not in the same WPSL. We weren't playing each other. We weren't affecting each other. But the Eagles actually came up and played a friendly on our first Pride night. That wasn't by coincidence. That was the statement. In 2019, we also had them come up. They were, at that point, part of our division. We went down there and, I mean, not to mince words, we played awfully and we got our butts kicked. They came up here a couple weeks later and they put it on us again. So that was 3 games. We drew with them in 2018 at that friendly on Pride Night. We lost to them twice, and then we met them in the playoffs on our what we fervently called our revenge tour, and we put them on them. It was a 1-0 game, and then all in 10 minutes, 4 more goals were scored, and the game ended 3-2. It was hot, it was heavy, it was quick, it was frantic. I still don't really understand how all of those goals were scored, but for a team that experienced such a tumultuous 2019 season with a mid-season coaching change and change in formation and responsibilities amongst the players, to end that season, even though it wasn't victorious, it was still a I guess, do we count moral victories?
Sure.
In I guess in 2019 you could, maybe
Yeah.
in 2021 you can. So to have gone down there and again, not to mince words, that was the worst game we had played all season, that 3-0 loss. We had about 20 minutes of high octane pressure that we put at least 4 or 5 chances right in front of the goal mouth that should have gone in. And every time that happened, I turned to the guy I was watching the game with and I said, we are going to rue the fact that we did not put one in. And sure enough, after that 20 minutes, any sort of momentum melted in that just gross Charlotte sun, and they just outplayed us. Bronwyn mentioned it last game. I don't know if anybody heard, but they're just a team of athletes. That is 11 track stars that they put out there game after game. They may not be the most technically gifted, but they will just run and run and run, and we melted in that game. But to come back here out of the sun, under the lights, with the Celso Blues support, the drums going. The other 600 fans that were here may not have known what the game meant to the players and to the owners and staff, but I think they could feel it. And throughout, as every, if you talk about soccer as a game of thirds or a game of quarters or however you want to break it down, you could feel something palpable in the air as the game was going. And going into that last 10 minutes, 0-0, you're not chasing a lead. We were on the front foot. Our midfield was outplaying their midfield, something that did not happen midweek in Charlotte. And you could just tell something was coming. It took manufacturing a moment with that penalty, but hey, we'll take it.
3 points being 3 points at the end of the day.
Yep.
Moving on to the men's side, a match that initially was thought to be won is now just half over.
Mm-hmm.
Then a trip down to Georgia ends in a 2-0 loss.
The 1-0 loss to Charlotte midweek too.
That's right.
So a suspended game and then 2 losses back to back.
In a shortened season, you're steering a ship as a coach. Mick Giordano can't make any rash decisions, although looking at the team sheet tonight, moving to a 4-back instead of a 3-back seems to be a statement.
Yeah, I would imagine this is just an attempt at stabilizing everything that we've been seeing, going back to basics. This is when we traveled down to Conyers at the beginning of the season, as I believe what was our first away game. Well, I guess after the Tormenta and Dalton games, after we had played at home, it was our first away game after that, and we put it on them 4-0. We missed a penalty, so it could have been closer to 5-0. I understand and have talked to Bronwyn's described how your season evolves after that, and you start folding in new tactics. We had a wonderful right wing back that's come into the fold, and I know he's moving out left and right and things of that nature. I mean, maybe after a couple games like that, you just hit the reset button and you go back to what was working, and maybe you do it against the team that it worked the best against.
And with that, Bronwyn and I, we are neutral. We don't make predictions. That's not what we do. But you are you're not neutral, and you can make predictions. So we are going to call on you to make a prediction in this match tonight.
So I've been very ambitious with my predictions up to this point, and generally go a little bit over. I'm going to rein that in just a bit. I'm going to call for a 2-1 win tonight. Sets us back on track, sets us up for these next few games. That rescheduled games coming pretty soon, and then we have a pair of home games on the July 2nd and July 9th. We've been talking all season long about how there's no points to drop. The playoff announcements came out this week. Top 3 are going to go. There's literally no more points to be dropped. We're hovering around there with the Independents 2 and the Eagles. The Eagles lost last night. Independents have been fairly successful recently. I don't even know that we can risk a draw from here on out. We got to take points away from people when we go on the road, but every point matters. 2-1 win. 2-1
win. Asheville City over East Atlanta is the prediction from Tim Blakicki. Tim, thank you for joining us on the Look Homeward pregame show. Coming up after this short break, we're going to have Chris Womack from WLOS, and we'll get you ready for kickoff. We thank you for joining us on the Look Homeward pregame show.
This is my 21st year as the baseball coach. I told the announcer I thought something was wrong. we need to get somebody up here.
The Asheville High team trainer, Josh Owen from Mission Sports Medicine, ran up the steps.
Tommy was exhibiting the classic signs and symptoms of a heart attack. We really wanted to make sure that he got care fast.
His role will never be forgotten. I knew he was my new best friend.
Yeah.
I'm Coach Tommy, and thanks to Mission Health, I'm a survivor.
Hey soccer fans, it's time to belong, believe, and be blue. At Ingalls Markets, we are proud to be the official sponsor of your Asheville City Soccer Club. Our men's and women's teams are poised for another great season of exciting action on the pitch. You bring the energy, and we'll bring the food. Go big and go Blues. Ingalls, your official sponsor of Asheville City Soccer Club.
Welcome back on the Look Homeward pregame show as we get you ready for kickoff. I'm Matt Stradley here with Bronwyn Lutweiler and Chris Womack, WLOS's sports guru. Thanks for joining us.
Guru is a strong word, but I appreciate it.
Guru is a strong word. I used it appropriately, though, so it's okay.
I appreciate that. Good, sir.
You've seen the Asheville sports landscape for quite a long time. You've seen a couple of Asheville City games this season. How is this team progressing in your eyes?
Well, I think, first off, COVID really messed everything up. Going back to the college seasons, with the women's team, you even saw players getting here late, so the season started late for them. I'm sure a lot of the fellas had the same type of issue. They didn't have maybe the normal training they did. But it seems like they're getting a lot of chances, at least from the games that I've seen. That they are really threatening the goal a lot. Haven't been able to really convert it yet. So I'd love to see tonight that timing down to where they're putting those balls home instead of sending them over our way.
Bronwyn, in your time as a goalie on this field, the wind plays a lot into these games, doesn't it?
Yep, it does, and we've talked about it before. It seems to be an isolated weather phenomenon here on Greenwood Field, but definitely as a goalkeeper, it's something that you have to be aware of. It plays into your technical decisions, your tactical decisions, how you're striking a ball, what kind of ball you're striking, how you're going for certain saves. So it's something that both teams should have attuned to by now through warm-ups, but you never know what can happen.
So Chris, does the wind factor into your decisions on where to post up to get those championship shots?
No, the thing is, I only care about Asheville City. So I stick behind the opponent's goal, hoping to get a good Asheville City goal. And I will say, though, I judge first few minutes of the game whether I need to move away from the goal a little bit more, because some of those are some firecrackers that would do a lot of damage to my camera. I'm not worried about me.
Right.
I'm worried about the camera.
Fair enough. That's an expensive piece of equipment that you got to tote around.
Yeah, I think they would replace that camera with me. I think it would probably be an easy financial decision for them.
Well, instead of the camera, it's just you saying what you saw.
Yes, exactly.
I think they call that radio. Did I just actually accidentally invent radio?
Yes, live radio on television would be super boring. We've had our video go down, though, where they tell me in my ear before the commercial break, hey, all your video is gone.
Oh, no.
And
what do you do?
You do the best you can to talk your way through it, and what I've learned early on, I really stumbled through it because it catches you off guard.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now I'm up front. I said, hey, we're having technical difficulties. This is going to be a little weird for you. It's going to be even more weird for me. So just bear with me as I try to talk you through highlights.
Chris, the Asheville City Soccer Club, a club that feels like it's got its roots down here in the community, with teams like the Smoke and the Asheville Altitude from NBDL and minor league hockey that weren't able to survive and sustain. What is it that's different about Asheville City Soccer?
I think there's several factors that go into it. First off, soccer's a growing game, and it has been for a long time. Communities really embrace the semi-pro teams in their areas. I came from Birmingham. They celebrate our embrace. There we go. That's the
well,
word
they
I'm
can
looking
celebrate
for.
and embrace. Yeah.
Yes, the Legion down there. It's a USL team, so it's. I think that's part of it. I think another aspect is that soccer, for whatever reason, lends itself better to semi-pro leagues and minor leagues, like baseball, for example. Whereas the G League stuck around for a little bit, but we've seen basketball leagues come and go. We've seen football leagues come and go. Hockey has their minor league system, but for whatever reason, soccer is really good at being able to facilitate those lower levels. I think also facility rentals. I mean, when you're talking about a civic center, for example, that's a big venue. It's an expensive venue to rent out, and it looks pretty bad if you're on TV and there's only 100 people there. Whereas here, the setup's pretty easy. You have a great partner in UNC Asheville, and so I think it's a lot of things. And then plus, I think the club embraces the community right back. That's a big part of it. There's a lot of local players that you think about on the women's team. Molly Dwyer going to Furman, but she also does a lot of coaching around here in the area. Addie Porter is coming off the bench for the Blues ladies, and the fellas have the same. Isaiah Vignali is a good example, another Reynolds Rocket. So I think that combined with just soccer and Asheville as a town, it just makes the perfect cocktail, if you will.
We don't prognosticate. We're neutral, Bronwyn and I. You don't have to be neutral, so I'm going to ask you, East Atlanta, Asheville City, any predictions for tonight's matchup?
It's a little troubling if you're an Asheville City fan that East Atlanta went 1-0-1 against Tormenta. That's, they're in the middle of a 4-game non-losing streak. I'm not quite sure how you word that.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, 4-game unbeaten. Yeah.
Yeah, 4-game unbeaten. So something's happened with that club to turn it around from when Asheville beat them 4-0 back in May. So that, and then City losing to Southern Soccer Academy, that was a real bummer if you're a Blues fan. So I think that obviously the Blues have the talent to beat them because they've already done it, and they did it in very convincing fashion. So they've just got to get off whatever schneid, get that hex off of them, maybe come out early, get a goal or two, get the legends here on their heels, and if it's just a game of keep away for 45, 50 minutes. But I like Asheville City. It's their home field. It's our home club. The Southfield Blues wouldn't let me over there if I didn't pick them. so we'll go with the Blues, and I'll go a little bit more 2-0. Well, I don't think it'll be 4-0, but we'll go 2-0.
2-0 Blues. So we have some conservative guesses tonight on the scores, and I think that's probably wise given the balance of the way things have gone recently. Chris, we appreciate you. We're going to have you back at halftime if you'll have us.
I will absolutely be here. Hopefully we'll be talking about 2-0 Asheville City lead.
We'll send you out of the final commercial break in the Look Homeward pregame show. We'll have starting lineups and opening kick after this short break. Asheville City Soccer Club is made possible by Ingalls Markets. We're with you every step of the way. Mission Health Sports Medicine, proud to support athletes of all ages and skill levels throughout Asheville and the western North Carolina region. Rhubarb, food and drink at their uncomplicated best. Mosaic Realty, make your next move with Mosaic. Carolina Color Tones, the leader in pre-finished siding, and Old London Road, where we watch. We'll be back after this short break. We'll give you starting lineups and kickoff. In the meantime, enjoy this as Asheville City, East Atlanta walk out.
Hey soccer fans, it's time to belong, believe, and be blue. At Ingalls Markets, we are proud to be the official sponsor of your Asheville City Soccer Club. Our men's and women's teams are poised for another great season of exciting action on the pitch. You bring the energy, and we'll bring the food. Go big and go Blues. Ingalls, your official sponsor of Asheville City Soccer Club.
Introducing the new pediatric ER at Mission Hospital. Designed just for kids.
we prepare you for kickoff, I'm Matt Stradley here with Bronwyn Lutweiler. Thank you so much for joining us. A beautiful evening in Asheville for East Atlanta and Asheville City.
This is an exciting game for Asheville, who's coming off of a couple of road losses that were not easy to take, especially against a team, the Kings, who they have previously beaten with authority.
Yeah.
So I know that they wanted to make some changes. They didn't want to just keep doing what they were doing, and it's difficult. It's a really tough coaching decision to make, especially when you're coming back to play against a team that you have already beaten with one system. And changing that system right before that game, it's a little bit of a coin toss. Do you want to stick with the system that you used to beat this same team, or do you want to change it because of the losses you've just faced? It's tough, but again, like Tim and Chris were saying, this East Atlanta team has been on a bit of an undefeated streak. And so I think it's smart to go with these changes, see how the 4-back holds up. And they've got some changes to the lineup as well, with Tom Barry starting at the 9. He's a goal scorer for this team, so they're really excited to get him in. He's been an international, so it's exciting.
Stainrod over on the left. It'll be a Rocha on the right. Quite a fearsome top 3 for Asheville City. We'll have the starting lineups for you, but first, this June, the South Slope Blues present their annual Pride Raiser campaign to benefit the campaign for Southern Equality. Pride Raiser is a unique way fans can make pledge in any dollar amount for every home goal Asheville City scores at home in the month of June. Celebrating home goals this June will feel twice as nice. The process is easy. Go to avlprideraiser.org, record your pledges. Donating is easy as well. Pride Raiser will send you instructions at the end to everyone who pledged. That's it. South Slope Blues would like to thank you for supporting the campaign for Southern Equality and for being blue with pride this June. We're ready to get things underway for Asheville. It'll be John Eric Lineholz, the left back, Aaron McCready at left center back, right center mid, Ross Fitzpatrick, co-captain, Tom Barry's the center forward, Arocha in the right wing spot. It'll be McCurley, the other co-captain, left center mid. Cam is going to be Joe Lacosto. Left wing, Jack Stainrod wearing number 19. Number 25, Jamie Smith, the stalwart at right center back position. Right back, Jake Kelly and Will Watson in between the goalposts.
And already you can tell that the pressure is high from Asheville. They're pressing higher up with a high press, a quick individual press from Arocha, trying to force that back line into a mistake, and then another quick press from the midfield from behind to lead to a free kick.
Tipped forward, Arocha will get onto the end of it. Arocha trying to play around, stolen away, and stolen right back. A pass loose through the midfield, and East Atlanta seizing onto the opportunity. They'll roll it back across their back line. For the Legends, their starting lineup, number 14, Grant R. It'll be Aaron Crabtree wearing number 5, Val Feeney wearing number 8. A pass through their lines gets all the way back for Watson. Number 4, Max Landau. Number 15, Tom Lardigue. Be number 13, Adrian Lawler. Number 10, Kyle McLeod. He's got 1 assist this season. Number 31, Trevor McMullen in the pipe, between the pipes. Adiola Oke, wearing number 11. Gavin Scott, 3 goals, 1 assist this season, wearing number 9. And number 17, Owen Travis on the back line. Tipped back, Lineholz.
This is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for Asheville. They haven't been training in a 4-back for very long. And so figuring out how to adjust their playing out of the back, which is what they like to do and what I suspect they're going to continue to try to do, into a 4-back rather than a 3-back, playing through the midfield, it's going to look different. And so there's going to be a little bit of a adjustment there.
Out wide. Here's McLeod. Cross through the middle, chopped out by Smith and fired away.
And already we've seen 2 or 3 50-50 balls hammered back forward from the Legends, trying this big direct semi-counter-attacking movement from the midfield, just trying to put the ball in their attacking third.
Arocha pressuring wide and called for the foul. McLeod very active on the left side. And we'll get all the way back to McMullen. East Atlanta have used 3 goalies this season. McMullen has the best goals against average of the 3 that have seen time. Tipped forward. Fantastically handled by East Atlanta's back line. Now they have something moving forward. Looks like a 4-on-3 breaking through. Okay. And Jamie Smith wins the 50-50.
Now that was a must-win tackle off of some sloppy midfield play from Asheville. That's what they're going to have to lock down. Playing through the midfield, they can't afford missed passes. And again, it's going to be difficult playing in a 4-3-3 when you're used to a 3-back.
Will it feel like the midfield's a little bit empty for Asheville if you're one of the midfield players?
Well, when you've been used to taking one of your 3 center backs and shoving the ball forward wide, and all of a sudden your midfield is more compact when you're defending or significantly more spread out when you're attacking, it seems like you have less options. So that's where I'm thinking that they've told their team to probably press the weak side outside back forward, is what I would guess. But we'll see if that is the situation.
Foul spotted as the fouls traded back and forth. Gavin Scott with an arm in the back of Fitzpatrick, who is that was McCready as he was trying to usher it out of bounds. Arocha with his second foul in just about as many minutes, trying to put the pressure on McLeod.
We know that Arocha has the ability to affect the game on and off the ball. That comes from his high pressure in defense, his movement off the ball, on the attack, as well as his technicality on the ball. He's a player to watch.
Tipped forward, the ball bouncing. Arocha shielded off very well. Loose pass, and somehow East Atlanta coming up clean with it. McLeod takes a run down the sideline. And McLeod as it's saved in by Asheville City. Out wide to Arocha. That was a nifty bit of footwork from Jake Kelly, keeping that ball in bound.
I think that's what it's going to take out on the wide areas in this game. I think most of this game is going to be played on the flanks with technical players playing wide. But Asheville is definitely going to want to get the ball out wide and then come back in. That's going to be the trick for them, is using their top 3 in a way that puts them in front of the goal.
Stainrod able to get to the outside, but loses it out over touch. It'll be a throw for East Atlanta. Just done enough to get by, but couldn't hold it in. It'll be an East Atlanta throw. Here's Landau. Stolen away by Lineholes. East Atlanta jumping right back onto it. The switch to McLeod. And a 1-2 pass, just a bit ambitious. It'll be an Asheville throw. Arocha deep back, loose pass. Okay, picks it off. Feeney weaving through the Asheville City defenders. Cutting in, he has some room. Chooses to scoop it. A lot of space, the shot. Ambitious from Landau.
Asheville's back line is going to take some adjusting from their 3-back. You can tell that in the attack, they are pressing their outside backs extremely high, which means when there's a quick transition from attack to defense, getting back in organization is extremely difficult, and they're going to have to make sure that that weak side is covered by the weak side center back or by a defensive midfielder coming straight back, or the weak side outside back getting that recovery run timed correctly. Otherwise, those switch balls are going to be on all day. It's a great touch.
Stainrod in the box. Stainrod trying to split the defense. East Atlanta just coming up. Be played out for an Asheville throw. Here's Lineholz to take it. Well, as far as nicknames go, the Legends is a pretty spectacular nickname, isn't it? Be lost out for an Asheville City corner, their first corner of the evening. It'll be Lineholz to deliver. A right-footed in-swinger is what we expect.
With so many goal scorers in the box, Asheville is going to rely a lot on corner kicks and set pieces.
Chipped back post. Smith as OK heads it away. Looked like Smith was swinging for a volley. It's knotted out for an Asheville throw. OK getting there just in time. Down to take the throws, Kelly. Back for Smith. Smith switching the point of attack.
Again, that's where that adjustment is, because he's used to having someone right there all the time in their wingers, and that switch ball has previously been on. It's been the first look more often than not. And they're going to have to play through a target forward more. It's going to be less about getting the ball wide quick and more about getting the ball high quick to get the wide players up.
It'll be a East Atlanta free kick right around the midfield stripe. Or line, or I don't know. Looks like a stripe to me, it's fine.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Push to the top of the box, nodded away. Imploring for a penalty, arms up, asking the question is Owen Travis. We'll take a look one more time. Perhaps a hand in the back, but for me, not enough.
No, I don't think so. And that's such a difficult ball as a goalkeeper to read. I think Watson could have come out and grabbed that, but the traffic was a little bit too much for there not to be any contact. And that's where experience in the net really comes in handy. It's something that...
The corner looking back post, goes over everyone, and that'll trickle out for a goal kick. Boy, OK really crowding Watson, who's now 3 weeks removed from his graduation from high school.
Exactly, and as I was just saying, experience in the net is one of your greatest tools. It is why coaches will typically choose seniority over anything else concerning goalkeepers, because so much of it is timing and decision making and reading the game.
Good turn from Arocha. Arocha hits the ground, no call. Scooped forward, OK. OK, cuts back to the middle. Asheville stepping up. Lacosto pushing it out wide. Lineholz saves it in dangerously. Okay is there. Okay. Thought about the scoop, pushes it to the top of the box. Nobody there. The shot! Nodded away. Ball still loose. And an injury as quickly blowing it dead and calling it out. We'll take a look. A shot is right off of the head, and you can see immediately down. And with the head injuries, it's not one that you mess around with.
No, that was the right call by the referee to stop the play and immediately address that.
As Smith is up. Mr. Asheville makes his way over to the sideline. A special relationship he has. He certainly has the skill to play just about anywhere he wants, and he is playing where he wants. I think that's spectacular. His third season with the club.
His presence on the Asheville back line is invaluable to this team. He's a veteran with the club. He's an incredible player, so to have his leadership as part of that back line with the confidence enough to really lead defensively, but also start plays, move forward.
His ability to switch the play from the back line into an attacking phase on the opposite side of the field is really spectacular.
Exactly, it's something that they have relied on in terms of setting up the entire team tactics.
Ball played out by Smith. It'll be a East Atlanta throw. Here's McLeod. Rocha able to get a foot in. Fired through the lines. Barry was giving chase. Barry still giving chase. Lifted out of trouble by McMullen. Boy, Lineholz just settled that so brilliantly. Played left back on the national championship squad for Marshall. Kelly trying to race up the sideline. And East Atlanta stepping in at the vital moment. Lost out for an Asheville throw. Here's Kelly. Tackled through. It's another Asheville throw. Taken quickly down the line. Bouncing off of Barry out. It'll be an East Atlanta throw. Sort of marching back and forth up and down the near sideline. Boy, if you like throw-ins, is this the game for you? Okay, settles the ball. Touched back. Arocha. As the foul spotted on Okay.
Again, I have a feeling that a lot of this game is going to be played on the flanks. That's where both teams have speed. It's where both teams have defensive urgency. But Asheville needs to find the middle. They need to find what seems to be a holding forward in Tom Barry, who, when he receives the ball in the middle of the field, looks for a pass rather than a turn. Tells me that he can hold up the ball well. But that pass then needs to go back to go forward to go in front of the goal. And it's that final kind of connection that they're missing.
It'd be difficult to argue that not being a foul, whether he got the ball or not. I think the contact afterwards necessitates a foul.
Yeah, not a clean contact right there.
And I think my guess is no card shown. That was sort of the look. That's your persistent infringement warning as it's knotted back goal side. Smith picking it up, looking for his options forward. Boots it deep down the middle. Touchdown brilliantly. East Atlanta right back into the attack. Here's Feeney on the far sideline. Lawler sends it in. A high boot spotted. It's Asheville free kick taken quickly. Here's Kelly rolling it back. Arocha. Some space in front for McCready, who plays it forward. Trying to find the run of Barry.
And that is the run that they're looking for. It was well read by McMullen.
Okay, trying to get in behind. Bit of a miscommunication, but Kelly coming away with it. East Atlanta jumping right back onto it.
That's where you need Watson to be authoritative in his call. Whatever he decides to do, he needs to let his team know that he's doing that.
Arocha drawn into the foul, yellow card out. Absolutely. I think fair call.
Fair. He's very quick to pressure the ball, which is something that you like to see out of wide attacking players. But that pressure has to be clean and it has to be on the ball.
And that time, McLeod luring him in to making that contact. A free kick in a dangerous spot for East Atlanta. 20 minutes into the first half. Feeney standing over it. Looks like the crash will come from the back post. Feeney looking back post. Watson feels it strongly. How tough is it to cut through the traffic like that and come up with it cleanly?
Well, it's not easy, but it has been something that he's been challenged with several times throughout this season, and so you can tell he's getting more and more comfortable with reading those high balls, reading those crosses, coming out for them. I mean, practice makes perfect, I guess.
Sure. Up the line. Arocha trying to scoop it back. Loose pass from Kelly. Stolen right back by Asheville City.
Asheville City is trying to play through a crowded midfield. They're crowding themselves because, again, they're just not used to this system of play. So everyone's kind of crashing the ball where help is needed, but then there's nowhere to go.
Oh, nifty turn. Has some space, plays it wide. Here's Feeney. Feeney. McLeod. Leaves it off. Tackled away. Asheville able to win possession back.
And it's been difficult for them to move forward because you can tell that they're keeping Stainrod and Arocha up high while Barry is dropping in. So they're kind of inverting this 3-back to work with a holding 9, but they can't get the ball to the holding 9. Partly because he's busy defending, partly because they're playing all on the flanks. But either way, they have no way to play through the middle there because either it's crowded or they're not getting the ball into the area that invites space.
When you're saying holding 9, you're saying a 9 that kind of drops back and plays more like maybe an attacking mid as opposed to a genuine striker?
When I say holding 9, it means holding in that his job is to get the ball with his back to goal hold the ball at his feet, play the ball out wide or backwards so that then players can get forward. He can turn off the ball, get into the box, and get the ball back. It's less like a holding mid who holds in the sense that they hold a deeper space.
Okay. So the difference between a holding 9 and a false 9?
Sure.
So walk me through a false 9.
That's going to be more of a 9 who runs around up at the top and creates problems for a defense. They're going to make darting runs, get on the end of through balls, trying to be at the end of plays rather than start them or be in the middle.
And this potentially the absolute last warning for Arocha. As Arocha comes through, kicks it out. It'll be a free kick for East Atlanta. Arocha perhaps a little lucky to get away without a card.
Yeah, he's been, again, his defensive urgency, he gets into pressure quickly and then slows down and steps in dangerous ways where he doesn't need to. He's getting there quick enough where he can just get behind the ball and keep the player where he wants. But he's been getting himself into some risky situations here as well as his team.
Free kick coming in from East Atlanta. Looking near post, free. Somehow bangs around. The shot blocked by Asheville City. Knotted back forward by East Atlanta. Looped through. Still loose at the feet. And somehow Jamie Smith comes up with it. He's run over from behind. And there you see the foul. And the official now wishing to have a conversation.
Now Smith knows how to draw contact. And he did just that. But as it sometimes happens, came up on a little worse for wear.
A yellow card given not for the tackle, but for the aftermath to Aaron Crabtree.
And we've seen these men's games get dicey on Greenwood before. We'll see if this continues and snowballs, or if both teams are able to play their games.
25 minutes into the first half, one yellow card per side. Arocha and now Crabtree, the owners of said yellows. Knotted up and forward. Not sure about that, but it worked.
Acrobatic.
And that a yellow for, okay. As for the second time, he'd rolled the ball away from where Asheville City had spotted it. Official warned him after the first time, if you do that again, I want to card you. Not to be a liar, the official carded him when he did it again. Slid out by Lartigue. Will be an Asheville City throw. Brought down, turning, tackled away. Brilliant tackle as Barry started his move towards the end line.
The trick is for Asheville is going to be getting balls into those high spaces, holding them there, and then now they win the ball for a throw-in deep in their attacking third. They have to get the ball high.
I have no idea what just happened. No, like what? Did the ball go over the end line? Okay. It'll be a goal kick for East Atlanta. Rocha's bending cross. Not finding anyone. Okay, pushing forward. Smith flicks it out. It'll be a East Atlanta throw. East Atlanta certainly with the balance of possession and chances thus far in the first half.
Do we only have the one camera tonight?
A foul spotted. I think perhaps a quick whistle, but maybe trying to regain some semblance of control.
It's a difficult task for a referee to do, especially when neither team really
wants to
really
play
likes
nice.
referees.
I like them. They seem nice.
Well,
you get one wrong.
I guess it depends on perspective.
Fired forward. That'll be out for an Asheville throw.
Asheville's having a difficult time getting this ball high. They're used to being able to hit those direct balls intermittently with a pivot midfield that they can switch the point with, that they can build the ball forward with. And East Atlanta is doing a really good job of denying them that, but they're also in the middle of figuring out a new formation that they haven't necessarily trained in a lot.
Chipped forward, looking for the run of Arocha. McMullen off his line, scoops it up. "30 minutes into the first half. Good turn. Played back. East Atlanta enjoying the possession. Lifted harmlessly. Watson scooping up.
Talking about playing forward out of the back, it's not just a matter of getting the ball from the back line to the front line like that, but we haven't seen players who we usually do see on the ball quite a lot, like Joe Lacosto, like Jack Stainrod. They've been not on the ball as much as they typically are, which means that the midfield has been empty for Asheville thus far, and they're going to need to populate it with some passes.
Okay, with the move, trying to find some space. The shot bouncing off a blue and scooped up by Watson. Okay, just looking for that yard of space. Or meter if you're watching in England. If you're watching in England, thanks for being here. Now into about 1 a.m. All the way back for Watson. The whistle blown as looks like McCurley trotting over to the sideline. Looks like a nick of some sorts, maybe a little blood spotted by the official. Dropped ball as the trainer begins working with him. Asheville City playing out. Asheville down to 10 with McCurley off receiving medical treatment. Rolled out for an Asheville throw. Nicola Mary in chat says hi from the UK. Hi from Greenwood Field. We're glad that you're here with us. 32 minutes into the first half. Ball is picked off, rolled on. Okay has some options. Rolls over. Here's McLeod. McLeod trying to cut back into the middle. Okay, can he turn? Shifts. Trying to shift the point of attack. And spotted in an offside position.
A really unfortunate end to a great bit of soccer there from East Atlanta. They're playing forward, getting the ball to players who can hold the ball, and then taking their time. They're composed on the ball and off the ball. They're playing around the Asheville defense, who is more concerned with getting behind the ball, protecting the goal, than they are with winning these tackles. So they pass around, they find space, and the switch was a little too high, and then the run was offside. But that's the kind of soccer that East Atlanta is looking for, and they have it because they've got players going forward together. It's not necessarily a crash to the box and a counterattack or even a slow build-up. But once the ball is won in the midfield, players are moving off the ball, ready to get a pass, receive a pass, or open up space for their teammate. That's what Asheville's missing.
Ball swiped away by Asheville. Some space down the side. Cross to the top of the box. McCurley back on the field after the injury. Flipped over, looking for Rocha. Tries the spectacular volley. Comes up empty. Landau gets onto the end of it. Slipped down. Asheville on the ball. Rolled into the middle. Trying to find the feet of Barry again.
And you'll notice a gap between the front three and the mid three that has been detrimental to Asheville's build-up play. A couple passes from the mid three have been too short, been too soft, not broken through or over the back line at all. They need to find that connection between the midfield and the front runners.
Lineholz out wide, played through the middle. McCurley on the spin. Invites Kelly forward. Barry. Lifted up, and Fitzpatrick onto the end of it. Arocha. Arocha tries to move forward. He's muscled off the ball, but a foul spotted. Chipped from distance, narrowly over the bar. Barry taking a lifting shot. Just couldn't get it to come down in the end.
But Asheville doesn't mind that because they need to get more shots on the board. They need more shots. And shots from goal scorers like Barry are going to get them there. The more shots you take, I mean, it's statistics, the more likely you're able to put one in.
That's math.
It's math. I would know.
And they said that math wouldn't be usable past 5th grade. That's East Atlanta holding on to it, playing through the midfield well. Some space moving forward. McCurley holding him up briefly. The switch held in by McLeod. McLeod surveying his options, looking far post. Watson, just beyond okay. If Oke gets ahead on that, that's a goal.
McLeod has been so solid on that right foot switch. He's gotten the ball out wide. Not much of a left foot to play a curling cross, but he does have the cutback on the right foot. So far, we've seen it to just switch the point of attack out to the opposite flank, but that time he decided to put it in between the center backs, which is something that you can do when you're attacking against a 4-back, is there tends to be a wider gap between center backs that you can take advantage of.
Fitzpatrick settling things for Asheville City, spins it wide to Lineholz. Lineholz looking to switch the point of attack. Smith settles it brilliantly. Touched forward, just held in, but nobody there. Put in a bad spot was Kelly.
I mean, when you get a switched ball like that, yes, you have to bring it down, but he did, and Asheville trusts their players to do that, but that means that he needs help going to the flank. He needs someone to actually play the ball to. There needs to be darting runs out wide. Someone from the front three, someone from the midfield is going to have to take the initiative to send a run out wide.
Asheville City women's soccer up 2-0 in Columbia. Across near post. And a good defensive job, East Atlanta, specifically their number 5, Aaron Crabtree, cutting near post and just removing any doubt. It'll be Arocha taking the corner. Lineho's the near option. Okay, mirroring his run. Mirroring is a weird word.
A good one, though.
It is. Arocha in swinging, looking back post. A crash. East Atlanta answers the call. The shot from distance always rising. It'll be an East Atlanta goal kick.
Asheville is going to want to hang on to these attacking opportunities for a little bit longer than they have. They like to take risks going forward. They have technical and talented players who can finish strikes from that far out, who can hit half volleys, but it's been missed opportunities like Arocha's whiffed volley and like some shots from distance that have just sailed over the crossbar. They need to hold on to the ball longer, play with it up top, get the Legends to move around in their own 18, put them off balance, put them off shape.
Okay, has it slid away? Ooh. And a yellow card brandished quickly, although Fitzpatrick got the ball. A yellow card shown his direction. I take that back. I don't think he got the ball.
It's tough to say because the ball and the player did not get there at the same time. So when he originally slid, it was going to be just the ball. And then the foot came into the picture. So it's a little bit unfortunate, but at the same time, a dangerous tackle to attempt in the first place.
Standing over the free kick, McLeod, Feeney. It'll be probably McLeod with an in-swinger. He's put 2 far post. And then in free play, he put 1 near post that Oke almost got onto.
What is this, the third free kick set piece from
pretty much that exact
about
spot.
this spot?
A dangerous life to live. Specifically with the delivery that McLeod provides you. McLeod sets the ball down. The churn starts looking deep far post, knotted back down. Watson crushed. Absolutely crushed on the run.
And still got the ball.
By Crabtree. And now Crabtree likely on his last warning. But definitely a foul. I wouldn't have. I would argue not a yellow as well.
With so many yellows already out in this game, earned yellows, to
absolutely.
be fair, you do have to be careful to keep those 2 earned yellows.
Okay, with a touch that's just a little bit loose. And is tipped out for a East Atlanta throw. Allowing Asheville to get back in their defensive shape. The race for the end line. It'll be out for a, well, he first motioned for a goal kick and then raised his flag for a foul. He dove, but he sold it. The linesman initially thought goal kick and then bought in. We won't give too hard of a time. They've done a really difficult job tonight, the boys in yellow. Really thankless job. But basically a corner, floated up, looking mid-box, crush. Watson gets a punch to it. The sprint is on. It'll be out for a East Atlanta throw.
That was an extremely difficult technical move to pull off. He came and got square to the ball, and then it lofted a little bit more than he thought it was going to, and had to extend his shoulder upward to get that final punch on the ball while he was square with it and going backwards. Difficult to do.
Linesman right on top of that offside. Raised the flag immediately as OK played it back to McLeod. Didn't mean to step on you there.
No, I stepped on you.
Well, you're talking actual soccer. I'm just watching what the officials are doing and occasionally saying last names. You do the important part. I say names. McLeod wins the battle, tries to continue his run, able to stay on the ball, slips. There'll be a handball called. And now a conversation will be had with McLeod as he and Stainrod have words.
We'll see if both Asheville and East Atlanta can keep the drama out of this game as long as possible. Not always easy to do.
There have been a couple of moments of drama, interpersonal miscommunications. Floated far post, knotted up. The battle for it as Lacosto trying to get onto the end of it. Touchdown. Trying to get to the end line. Can he do it? And he's a foul spotted on Asheville. Surely not. He trips and then takes out Kelly.
Yeah, that one was missed. With so many dicey contacts, it's, as a referee, difficult to manage all of them perfectly. But I do believe that was a
bad one.
Not ideal.
Arocha gets there first, played forward. Nodded right back. Okay. McLeod has it picked off by Smith, who's on his horse.
And Smith's ability to read the touches of the ball from his opponent. When a touch is too big, he steps in and makes it his own, and then starts plays going forward.
Your standard marauding center back.
I like to have at least one for
You
a
should
team.
have at least one. Played forward, knotted down. Stainrod has some room. Stainrod! Oh, what a fantastic save by Trevor McMullen. Took up the space and got big.
That was really well done to come out for that. The defender was just beat, but McMullen had that read completely. He knew that his defender was not going to get past that wide touch, and so he started closing that space early, came up, got big, threw his body out, hands out in front of the knees. That's really important there, and came up with a huge save for East
0-0
Atlanta.
as we go to the half. We'll bring in Chris Womack, ask what he saw in the first half, ask Bronwyn what she thinks we're going to see in the second half. All that and more coming up on the Halftime Report. 0-0 as we send you to break.
Hey soccer fans, it's time to belong, believe, and be blue. At Ingalls Markets, we are proud to be the official sponsor of your Asheville City Soccer Club. Our men's and women's teams are poised for another great season of exciting action on the pitch. You bring the energy, and we'll bring the food. Go big and go Blues. Ingalls, your official sponsor of Asheville City Soccer Club.
Introducing the new pediatric ER at Mission Hospital. Designed just for kids.
Nil-nil, East Atlanta, Asheville City at the half. I'm Matt Stratton with Bronwyn Lou Weiler. Chris Womack, WLOS's sports guru, joining us. First half, chippy first half. What did we learn?
Well, we learned that the referee really likes his yellow card. There were, what, 5 or 6 that were handed out? I counted.
It was a number.
It was a number. And then we learned that Asheville City had a little trouble figuring out that East Atlanta defense, because for the first 30 minutes, they were not getting anything. They weren't even getting close. But then for the last 15-plus stoppage time, they started threatening, got a couple really good shots. I think that was Jack Stainrod there towards the end of the half that could have put one home, probably should have put one home. He'll regret that one later. But it'll be interesting to see if Asheville City can keep that momentum going now that they know how to attack the Legends.
I think you're totally right about moving forward. This Asheville team, they really struggled to get the ball high up the field, and that's what they need to do. Just get the ball up there. They're used to having a 3-back system where they have most of their players already up high, but now they've found either a gap between the back line and the two other lines, the midfield and the front line, or a gap between the back line and the mid line and the front line. And so closing that gaps is going to be really important moving forward so that they can get the ball up through the field to higher positions in their attacking third. But you're right, there was a really good chance by Stainrod and then a phenomenal save by McMullen. So hopefully Asheville is going to see more chances going forward, and East Atlanta is going to be able to fend them off.
And I've got to ask you, as a keeper, have you been noticing how far off the line the East Atlanta keeper's playing? Because
Yes.
that looks like a good chance for a cheapie.
Yes, I have noticed that he's coming out for some bold saves forward. So does Watson, though. They both like to read balls early and get there before the other player, which is, again, it's bold. And if you're going to go, you need to go and tell your team that you're going to go. And, hey, fair enough, make your own decisions as a goalkeeper. But that is something that Asheville can cue into. See that he's doing that. Try and hold the ball more around the 18 to pull him out of position. Play around, get him committed to one side, and then find the open space on the weak side.
The Barry shot in the 25th to 30th minute from distance, is that testing McMullen coming off of the line, trying to see if maybe he'd come a bit too far?
Sure, I think Barry was also trying to get a shot on the board, and that's what Asheville needs. They need shots on the board, and they need it from their 9, who was brought in to be a goal scorer. So Barry's going to want to get on the ball a lot more, and he's going to want to put shots against the goalkeeper. High percentage, low percentage, it doesn't really matter to him. He wants to put shots on the goal, and that's what he's looking to do. He hasn't been on the ball as much as he would like. So again, it's going to be getting the ball up through the lines to the attacking third where the front 3 can play.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights, a nifty little video package that our own Brian Yohe's put together from the first half. It's a lot of shots and a lot of defense and a couple of cards. If I should have said spoiler alert, but
whatever, they'll stick around.
Yeah,
if they're here, they're here.
This one of the fantastic deliveries from McLeod, who I thought was a light for East Atlanta in the first half. A lot of free set pieces early in the game as Asheville still trying to figure out that formation. Another one from McLeod, bending back post, this time Watson out to grab it.
He's such a tall man.
It definitely helps. Height helps.
This easily could have been a goal. It's just kind of slapped around, and Asheville a bit lucky maybe to come away without having the back of the net bulge. And then, okay, just centimeters from getting onto that one.
Goodness gracious.
On the other side, you could tell Stainrod keying in, becoming a greater influence later in the half, and there Watson making the save just before the thumping tackle from Crabtree. I think Crabtree and Arocha both probably on their last warnings as far as yellow cards go. They're both, I think, probably short leashed for maybe a second yellow.
Yeah, it's been a very physical game, and maybe there's bad blood. Obviously, I wasn't at the first one down in Atlanta, so maybe there's something that's held over from that. But Bronwyn, when you go into the locker room at halftime, does that ever really diffuse the emotions?
It depends. It depends on the coaching style. It depends on what your teammates are like. When we go into the locker room and we've had a half like this where it's back and forth, we're on the back foot a lot, we would have personalities like Bryson Lee, who's played on this Asheville team, who would come in and whip us into shape and yell at us and say, guys, what are we doing, And then we would have coaches come in, settle it down, and say, okay, what are we doing next? And so it takes personalities from your team and from the staff to organize a team to get ready to go into a second half. And whether that's pumping up the energy and just putting passion into what you're doing, or if that's settling things down and saying, don't go into tackles lazy, don't go getting into contact that you don't need to be in. Settle down, play with the ball, find feet, move forward. Is it going to be a tactical kind of change or an emotional and a mental kind of change? It depends on what personalities you have in the locker room.
Indeed. So do you think East Atlanta changes much on defense, or at this point you are what you are and you've just got to execute better?
No, I think probably in the locker room they feel pretty good right now. I think they're confident in what they're doing. They haven't had to defend very much. McMullen's done a great job when he has had to. He's been making the right decisions. He seems confident coming off his line. So when they are getting penetrated through their back line, they seem to be sweeping it up. So I think they're feeling okay defensively and moving forward, although they were on the back foot a little bit in the last minutes of the first half. So I think they're going to try and keep doing what they're doing.
I think the wind comes into play. The wind staunchly into our face as you're watching the field. The wind moves right to left, and it's pretty impressive wind. It's tough to play into the wind, especially if you're trying to play between and through lines like Asheville City was in the first half. It's a little bit easier when you're with the wind to play through those lines.
Mm-hmm.
And I think given Asheville City's game plan, what we've seen of their game plan, that might be to their advantage in the second half. So I'm going to give an assist to the wind and say that if we get to see a breakthrough goal, which it looks like there are goals to be had in this game.
Very close.
I think Asheville City has one in them. I know East Atlanta has one in them. The question is do they get that just one moment? Because they put themselves in great positions. Do they have that moment of brilliance in them to get that finish? And I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Stainrod, he's the leading goal scorer on the club, and he just about added to his tally there at the end. So you got to think that he's moments, inches away from breaking one off himself. And then, I mean, a lot of other guys have had opportunities, and I do think that we're going to see one of those goals come from distance where the keeper's caught too far off his line and maybe it bangs in off the crossbar. Obviously, that's a tough shot.
Oh, yeah.
That's not one of those easy ones, but I do think that we'll see a very close call, if not an outright goal.
So do you still see it 2-1 ending?
Well, I had 2-0, and so.
Oh, that's right.
But I don't know if we got 3 goals in the second half. I'll take 1 so I can get back for the 10 o'clock news tonight. Preferably 1 in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Well, I'll see what I can do. I don't know whose goal it will be, but I'll talk to him and see who can score.
I'll go tell Mick, look, I've got a game plan. Score. Right. There we go. There's the game plan.
Absolutely.
Do you ever have fans or parents or anybody tell you stuff like that? Hey, have you guys thought about just scoring?
Yep, all the time. Clifton Bush, our head coach, used to say, just put the round thing in the rectangle. So.
And now he's up with Racing Louisville. Clearly, it's a strategy that works.
Yeah, try it. It stood the test of time.
Well, Chris Womack, we thank you for joining us on the Halftime Report. We'll get you back out there so you can catch that 10 o'clock newscast. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate all your analysis.
This is fun. Yeah, it's a beautiful night too.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're watching at home, next time you need to get out here because these are such fun events. The South Slope Blues seem to be in rare form tonight. They are just giving it to East Atlanta. So it'll be fun now that their keeper's on their end. So I'm looking forward to some comedy.
It should be a good time for all. We're going to take a short break. It'll be kickoff right after this.
This is my 21st year as the baseball coach. I told the announcer I thought something was wrong. We need to get somebody up here.
The Asheville High team trainer Josh Owen from Mission Sports Medicine ran up the steps.
Tommy was exhibiting the classic signs and symptoms of a heart attack. We really wanted to make sure that he got care fast.
His role will never be forgotten.
I knew he was my new best friend.
Yeah.
I'm Coach Tommy, and thanks to Mission Health, I'm a survivor.
Hey soccer fans, it's time to belong, believe, and be blue. At Ingalls Markets, we are proud to be the official sponsor of your Asheville City Soccer Club. Our men's and women's teams are poised for another great season of exciting action on the pitch. You bring the energy, and we'll bring the food. Go big and go Blues. Ingalls, your official sponsor of Asheville City Soccer Club.
We are back live from Greenwood Field, 0-0. We're underway. Asheville City starting us off in the second half. Just know that we're in the second half. That's why we're doing another 45-minute count-up timer. Don't overthink it. Just go with it. Bronwyn, what are we going to see in the second half that's going to be different from the first half?
It's hard to say, and it all depends on what was said in each respective locker room, but I think Asheville is going to try to attack more. They're going to try to come out with a more attacking personality, get the ball forward, find their key players, hold the ball up a little bit, and try to play around up in their attacking third. And then East Atlanta is going to continue to try and hold back the Asheville attack, which hasn't been extremely threatening until really the last few minutes of the first half. And they're going to continue to find their players like McLeod, who can send in extremely good services and get on the end of it.
That is Nathan Watt, who's come into the game. The pass. Watt gets on the end of it, sending across. Fitzpatrick cuts it back, looking back post, nodded forward. And hammered out of trouble. It'll be out for an Asheville throw.
And already Asheville has put East Atlanta under more pressure in the first few minutes of the second half than they had really all of the first half.
Looking near post, trying to find the run of Barry. Stainrod there as well. Asheville playing through the middle, through Fitzpatrick. Out wide to the right. Looking over the top, knotted down. Lineholz. Lineholz has some space, takes up that space. Lineholz looking for the cross. Chipping far post. Settled at the top of the box. One touch, the shot blocked. Coming onto it, Fitzpatrick has some room. Ball loose top of the box. Ball bouncing around. Scooting off of the line is McMullen. Mullen trying to settle everyone down. Looks like a Rocha gave way for Nathan Watt to start the second half. Lineholz, fantastic settle. Watt, as Lacosto loses out. Fitzpatrick coming forward. Lineholz. Tom Barry ran it almost all the way back to the back line. Just refusing to give up that possession. Smith for Fitzpatrick.
And that's the kind of hold-up play that you need from your 9 if you're going to play them as a target 9. The ability and the desire to hold on to the ball, even if you have to track back to your own back line.
Curley. The ball over the top, looking for Watt. Will it check up? It will not.
Again, we've already seen the ball come forward more in the first few minutes of this second half than in the entirety of the first half for Asheville. And they've been holding the ball in the midfield a little bit more. They've been possessing a little bit more and playing amongst their top 2 lines.
It's because of the wind.
Oh, yeah. It's because of the wind.
Why do you put up with me? Knotted forward by Asheville. Chopped down from behind, Stainrod. Play on. Fitzpatrick giving chase, far sideline. Switching the point of attack. Knotted forward by Lineholz. Ushered out by Lineholz. I've called his name more in the first 5 minutes of the second half been very integral into play. Stainrod trying to apply some pressure. Looping ball, looking towards the top of the box. Fitzpatrick out wide for Kelly. Kelly tracks it down. Back for Fitzpatrick. Kelly. Through the middle. McCurley. Trying to find the run of Lineholz. Does so. Lineholz has some space in the middle. Lineholz chips it wide. Watt brings it down. Watt looking to cross it in. Right across the 6. McCurley keeping it in. To the top of the box. Lineholz.
Asheville's not going to want to surrender the space that they've earned.
The run down the side from Kelly. The cross. As Watt slides it off. Smith keeping it in. Smith continuing his run. Smith touching it forward as it slid out for a goal kick. Check that. That'll be a corner. Apologies.
It's so valuable for this Asheville City team to have defenders who are willing to take the ball forward into space that they see, to earn space, to earn set pieces, to earn attacking plays through defensive tactics.
It'll be an outswinger from Lineholz, looking back post, trying to find the run of Smith. It's knotted away. And it'll trickle out for a Asheville corner. East Atlanta just getting there ahead. Lineholz over to take the second one. Lacosto the short option. It is played short. Back for Lineholz. Watt skipping it through. Line's cleared. The foot race is on. As okay losing his footing. Fitzpatrick.
It's tempting to use those short corners when you can and when you have the personnel. But as Asheville has struggled to earn attacking space in the first half, you want them to slow it down a little bit more, see if they can't take advantage of their aerial power for those corner kicks.
East Atlanta enjoying a bit of possession. This is really the first time they've possessed in the second half. Long cross field pass. Now back around the back line.
And their confidence in their back line to play out of the back, to play under pressure, to find playmaking passes.
Curling ball, back post! Free header for Lawler. Just putting it over the bar.
And those are opportunities that East Atlanta manufactures from the back line to a wide player and then back into the box to a free player who, by all accounts, should not have been free.
Lineholz was the only player in the vicinity as two red shirts were closer to the ball. Nifty little interplay from Fitzpatrick, or excuse me, from McCurley.
And that is the kind of individual creativity moving through the midfield that Asheville needs.
Asheville throw on the near sideline. It'll be Lineholz for the throw. Lineholz takes his space down the sideline, lifting it for Watt. Watt off the chest, top of the box, brings it down. Rolling it towards the sideline, plays it back. That'll be out for an Asheville throw. Kelly takes it quickly. That'll be out for an Asheville corner. Their third of the second half.
And they're earning these corners, these set pieces, these attacking opportunities from utilizing their attacking personalities like Nathan Watt, like Jack Stainrod, who can hold the ball, who can beat people technically, who can play around and win balls that should be unwinnable.
Smith has crashed back post the last 2 corners. That doesn't include the short corner. Lacoste is positioned at the back post right now. The cross coming in, looking right in the middle, knotted away from near post. McCurley touches it down, flips it, just missing wide.
And that ball had some movement on it. You like to see a risky shot like that at the top of the box when the entire back line is moving forward like that. It's just you and the goalkeeper who is oftentimes also moving forward, focusing on moving teammates up, focusing on getting people where they're supposed to be, and it can be easy to get caught out of position.
Foul spotted as Scott goes to ground. Probably East Atlanta free kick. Feeney over the kick to take it. Here's Feeney. Looking top of the box, knotted up. Okay, tries the volley.
Certainly an ambitious volley, but well done to get ahead on that service. It's difficult to attack against the Asheville aerial defense. But if East Atlanta keeps winning those balls, keeps getting first to those services, they might be able to make something out of that.
I think OK had more time than he thought he did. I think he may have had time to settle.
It's hard to read those in a trafficked 18 like that. So if you feel like you've got the time and space to hit something spectacular, it can be really tempting. Not that I know.
Back here from line host. Fitzpatrick playing forward, looking for Watt. That'll be sprayed just a bit too wide for Watt. It'll be an East Atlanta throw. In the 58th minute, substitutions for East Atlanta. Adiola OK coming out. It'll be Jonathan Martinez in. Martinez for OK. It'll be Adrian Lawler out and Damian Robbins in. Number 19 for number 13. Now you're all caught up. 2 switches for East Atlanta as we are approaching the 54th minute. Loose pass scooped up by Feeney. Feeney looking forward. Over the head of Smith. Scott settles on it. Scott pushing towards the top of the box. Leaves it off. As navigating the way through the shot, low, scooped up by Watson.
And that was an extremely intimidating attacking run from East Atlanta that ended in a shot that was right to Watson. Still difficult to deal with. He had to finish it in a front smother.
That was a nifty little move to split the double team.
Not easy to do, but that entire attacking moment came from a quick look up by Feeney, who saw Smith on his back foot and was able to hit a dime just right over him. Not something that is easily done.
Watts cross attempt blocked down. It'll be out for a deep throw. Looks like their shape is they've gone to more of like a 4-4-2 as opposed to the 3 across the front. Slid in. There's Lineholz. And Feeney just has to fire it out for a throw. Unhappy, wanted a foul call. Lineholz. As the ball played out to the top. Now playing forward on the counter. McLeod losing his footing. McLeod will play it back. Touchdown. Dangerous. Now East Atlanta trying to play it forward. Tough pass, just eking out as Robin is trying to get on the end of it.
And so far this half, it seems like East Atlanta's opportunities have come out of counterattacking moments when they find a quick, direct ball from the back line to running forwards against an Asheville defense who is still transitioning.
As ushered to Watson by Smith. Here's Kelly on the far sideline. Now Fitzpatrick. Back for Watson. Watson scoops it forward. Knotted up. Barry. McLeod. McLeod has some space. McLeod continuing his run. The cross at the 6. Watson gets a piece of it, a second piece. It falls into his lap. Unbelievable save by Watson.
Unbelievable sequence of events as McLeod just bullies past the entire Asheville defense to an incredible service, an incredible shot, and then possibly one of the most acrobatic saves I have ever seen. To use his height to get up on the end of that ball, leave his feet, touch it enough so that it goes to the crossbar with enough velocity that it doesn't just dip back down into the goal, and then the wherewithal to turn around and get his hand over it. That's the kind of soccer you like to see on Greenwood Field.
Spectacular. McCurley there to sort of put his foot on the ball so it doesn't accidentally bounce off, and it'll be the end of the day for Lacosto. In the 63rd minute is Lacosto making way. It'll be Aversano taking his place. Zach Aversano wearing number 21. Whitney Johnson in chat pointing out excellently spotted by the assistant referee there. That's a tough call to make, and you're right. They got it spot on. Back for Watson. And Robbins, I mean, fantastic shot. He basically thighed the ball into a brilliantly taken chip. Trying to roll it out.
That'll be a jersey pull.
That'll get you every time. It'll be a free kick for East Atlanta. Trotting over to take the kick is Feeney, the 2019 Young Harris graduate. 2 goals, 1 assist thus far in his campaign this year with East Atlanta. Looking to the top of the box, nodded forward. The crush happens, a foul spotted. Substitution for Asheville City. Jason Gunn coming into the game. Will be taking the place of Jake Kelly. We'll see, because Gunn usually a left side player. We'll see who slides over to take Kelly's spot on the right side. Do you see perhaps Lineholz sliding back a little bit?
I think they're going to want him to remain an attacking personality in this game, since he's been pushing forward a little bit more. Asheville has had many more opportunities going forward. We'll see how this plays out.
East Atlanta told to move back a bit. They do. Now they're taking the throw. Ball played forward. Taking down very well East Atlanta. Scott. Quickly trying to change the point of attack. Will be Lineholz. Looks like he slid back to that right back spot. The foot race on. East Atlanta answering the bell. Held in by Asheville. When in doubt, and you feel like you're at a disadvantage in a counterattack, if you feel contact, fall.
That's what I always say.
Ball played forward, knotted up. It'll be out for an Asheville throw. So they will be moving Lineholz back, but you wonder if that will negatively impact Asheville's ability to move forward, as Aversano's looking at the right mid side. Attempted back heel, didn't quite come off, but East Atlanta staying on the ball. Tackled away. McCurley slotting it forward, trying to find Stainrod. Stainrod giving chase. Slid out for an East Atlanta throw.
And that's what Asheville wants to do, is stop East Atlanta from building through their midfield when they've got them in a pressing moment. So East Atlanta was able to avoid a counterattack from Stainrod, but they were denied the turn and play through the midfield by an Asheville defensive line who was pressing up quickly enough.
Whitney Johnson and Chad adding, and great work by the goalkeeper keeping that bad boy out. Agreed, if you can impress Bronwyn, that impresses me. Bronwyn has done some amazing things in goal, and so if she's impressed by something that happens in goal, I should be impressed by something that happens in goal. Out for an Asheville corner. Approaching the 70th minute. It'll be 25 on our clock. If you didn't want to do the math at home, I respect that. Be out for a East Atlanta goal kick. Both these goalies, McMullen and Watson, boy, they've come up when they absolutely needed to, haven't they?
They definitely have, and that's difficult to do when you've been playing a game that seems very congested in the midfield with not a ton of threatening opportunities at goal. So it's difficult to stay technically locked into a game enough to pull off saves like McMullen's in the first half to come up big with that 1v1 save, and then just now for Watson to stay on his feet to keep out a shot that by all accounts, should have
gone in. I mean, Damian Robbins has every right to feel robbed. Missed it in the chat. J1, glad that Justin Watt into the game, turned down for Watt, the comment. Can't believe I didn't read it. I apologize. It's a fantastic comment. It was a bad job by me. I apologize. And Asheville City giving away a corner. Ball rolled back, played behind Jamie Smith. East Atlanta, the beneficiary. Can they make something happen? They seemed adept at these set pieces. Ball placed down. Here we go. And looking far post, Watson up to the task again. Does he really see things when he's pointing like that, or is that just something goalies do?
Well, it looks pretty cool and authoritative, so
fair enough.
Either way.
Whether or not it means anything, it's worth doing it just because there's a sense of a commanding presence.
Exactly. Just scowl a little bit and point to different spots on the field, nod. You're all set. That's all there is to goalkeeping.
Asheville playing around their back line. Tipped forward. Trying to bring Watt. Ball floated a bit, but it's played out. It'll be an Asheville throw. Watt over quickly to take it. Line holes. And across the back line again. Through the middle, McCurley tipping it forward, but East Atlanta right there. Now they're trying to play through the lines. Smith scampering back.
The East Atlanta back line has done a fantastic job of reading those through balls that Asheville's been trying to send over. They're stepping at just the right time to cut out that pass, that last final pass, so that they don't get beat behind, or they're dropping off enough so that if they aren't going to get to the ball first, they're there ready to meet the player as he receives it.
Gunn gives away for Fitzpatrick, back for Watson. Watson chipping it forward. Nodded forward. Stainrod giving chase. Stainrod's going to win this foot race as he's uprooted. It'll be an Asheville throw.
It's well tackled.
Rolled in Stainrod, moving through the middle. As he's tackled down from behind, it'll be an Asheville free kick in a very dangerous position. The question is, with the wind, can you get it over a wall and down in time, or do you just try to go to the side?
Hard to say. I think it depends on the player, the personnel that you have on the field. If Arocha was on the field, you'd probably tell him to go for goal. And we'll see what Asheville has planned here. I do know that they have very specific plans about what they want to do when they have free kicks. So Asheville has a plan here, and we will just have to wait to see what it is.
It'll be Smith standing over it. It'll be a right-footed. Now the question is, look at Fitzpatrick standing out to the left. Is that the play?
I guess we'll find out.
Smith gets it up, can't get it back down in time. From that spot with this wind, it's getting it up in time to get over the wall wasn't ever going to be the problem. It was going to be getting it back down in time, and he made a good run at it. Just needed a couple more yards.
Exactly. It was a tough ask. But again, if you've got the ball spotted in that area and you have players as talented as Smith on the ball, then go for it.
Nice turn.
Again, the East Atlanta back line doing a great job of knowing when to step and when to hold.
Watt losing out, played forward just a bit in front of the East Atlanta player. Watt giving it his all, unable to get onto the end of it. Played forward. It'll be there for Smith, who will usher it out for a goal kick. Poor Watson had to run all the way over to get his own ball.
We don't do a ton of running during the game, so, you know, might as well do your
A little less
center
stretch every
backs
now and then, yeah.
a favor.
You got to get that step count in somehow, right?
Exactly, exactly.
75 minutes, the last 15. Will we see somebody open their scoring ledger? That was a rhetorical question. I don't know the answer. Nodded forward. Stainrod. Just at the last moment, East Atlanta getting onto the end of it. Here's Gunn. Gunn. Martinez had it, lost it. Played forward. That'll be out. That's Watt all the way over on the left side.
You can tell that Asheville's playing quicker higher up the field. When they've got the ball in their midfield, they're trying to play fast, quick, short passes out towards the flanks, and it's working for them. It's getting them forward. Every once in a while, though, they're going to have to turn not backwards, but back through the middle to try and get a switch, and then do the same thing on the other side.
It'll be Fitzpatrick out, Jake Jensen into the game in the 77th minute. Jensen wearing number 17. Rolled all the way to the back line. Smith lifting it, looking for Watt. Saved in, tackled down. It'll be a foul whistled on Asheville. It'll be an East Atlanta free kick. And a yellow card brandished. Jake Jensen just freshly into the game. And Giordano will be given a yellow card. A lot of note keeping to be done.
You do wonder about the decision to give a yellow card when the second half, compared to the first, has been relatively quiet in terms of fouls.
It seemed like a hard challenge, but one where the ball was won, just came through the player at the end. Which I agree is a foul. I just don't think it's a yellow card offense. And now being rewarded for every dive. East Atlanta, a free kick. As the foul whistled on McLeod's cramp earns them a free kick. Woof Woof, to answer your question. Great question. Yeah, this is the clock for the second half. We've lost a vital piece of equipment that kept our audio off the air last game for Asheville City women's game. We've got it fixed, but the graphics aren't working the way we want them to. So the only graphics we could get was a graphic that would only count up to 45. Watt able to get onto the end of it, trying the shot from distance.
Asheville, they're going to take advantage of counterattacking moments when they can get them. They haven't had many of those opportunities, especially in the first half, but now with personalities like Nathan Watt up top who can take risks like this and really challenge the goal, they're going to look for those direct balls forward. They're going to look for quick play out of transition moments. See if they can't take advantage of, like Chris said at halftime, goalkeepers who cheat forward.
Excuse me. It's McMullen back to take the kick. Watt played forward. Touchdown with space. Still moving forward. Played out wide. Here's Gunn. Gunn settles it. Gunn called in again. The low cross near post. Ratcheted out of trouble, but it'll be an Asheville City corner kick.
And this is what Asheville needed. In the first half, they were taking shots early. They were taking risks from out wide when they could have held the ball longer around the 18. It's what they've needed to do, and it's what they've started doing. They're keeping the ball, they're keeping possession in the attacking third, moving defenders, forcing decisions like, do I clear it for a corner?
Reinholz arcing, free header back post. Just couldn't get it down.
Now that they've started, I don't see the attacking opportunities for Asheville stopping anytime soon. But they do have their defensive work cut out for them against an East Atlanta front with some speed and technicality to spare.
McMullen playing it forward. Will be out for an East Atlanta throw. Looking top of the box. Over around Watson off his line. Smartly scoops it up. It was a good idea. I like the idea. I actually love the confidence of Scott to kind of dummy a run for himself and nearly got free.
Sure, when you've got the speed and the technicality and a tired Asheville defense.
50-50 ball won by Asheville. Here's Watt. Watt trying to slot it forward. Just over the head of Barry, gets on the end of it. Barry playing it back. Here's Gunn. Gunn finds some space, whips in across, looking back post. Oh, almost sneaking in under the crossbar.
And again, McMullen, he likes to keep a high line.
Nearly Vignali'd it. No, I mean, Vignali clearly meant to do that.
Well, no, he did.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
Yeah, I said so.
Yeah, I believed you.
Yeah, well, it's true.
It's because it's true. Played off the line by McMullen. Knotted out. It'll be an Asheville throw. Here's Gunn. McCurley does enough to keep the possession for Gunn. Gunn putting McCready in a tough position, but it's a Asheville throw. Oh, check that. It's off East Atlanta for an East Atlanta throw. Nice spin and a foul spotted. As we enter the 85th minute. 5 minutes left in regulation. When we find out how much extra time, we'll let you know. Or will we? No, we will. Feeney looking at top of the box. This one seeped in. Reinholz comes away with it, starts the break. Asheville on the run, pushing it forward. Stainrod's there. Stainrod, it's one-on-one, flips it over. Back for a run from, oh my goodness, what a fantastic save. McMullen got big.
A brilliant breakthrough from Asheville. This interplay between Lineholz, Stainrod, Watt, and Barry to a fantastic save by McMullen. Just a reaction save of all reaction saves just to get big. He got set in time right as the cue of the foot going back to strike the ball came. He got set so he wasn't still moving the opposite direction, threw out the foot, and I mean, what an incredible save.
As Smith able to win the free kick. Asheville City, the 3-0 winner over SC United on the women's side. Their next matchup will be this Saturday. That may be the best chance outside of Robbins calling Watson into a fantastic save. These two, you know, honestly, we're looking at two goalkeepers who deserve clean sheets.
They've both played their games excellently well against not just sloppy chances, not just lucky shots, but incredibly good soccer they have defended.
Nodded forward, Lineholz wedging it out. Only as far as McLeod. It'll be out for an East Atlanta throw. Watt trying to settle it down, flipping it forward.
And now East Atlanta's ability to pass around players and then to break through with quick dribbling technicality is going to come in handy as they threaten Asheville's back line.
And just getting a foot to it, a dangerous touch, but Landau really made up for it. And what a tackle from McCready, had to get it right, did. McCready breaking to the corner, slips, plays it up the line. And a foul spotted. It'll be a free kick for Asheville in the 88th minute. I'll be glad when that piece of equipment gets fixed so I can stop doing math. 45 plus 42, 47. That's like 87, 50?
You lost me at math.
I lost myself at math. Asheville free kick. 88 into the book. Played forward, nodded down. It'll be out for an East Atlanta throw off McCready. Excuse me, off McCurley. Feeney nods it forward. Settled well. Gunn. Left back for McCready. McCready playing it forward. It'll be out for an East Atlanta throw. Into the 89th. Here's Landau. Into the midfield. Feeney has it picked off of his toes. Lineholz. Settled well, Asheville. Barry. Curley tries to play it out wide to Lineholz and right behind him. East Atlanta throw. It'll be out for an Asheville throw. A minimum of 3 minutes. Here's McLeod. Pushed wide. East Atlanta looking for some answers. The cross blocked. Nodded forward. Barry has it. Rolls out wide. Space to move forward. And just tackled down from behind. Stainrod hits the ground. How is that not a red? It's a denial of a clear goal-scoring opportunity. He's the last man. He's drug him down. Oh, he's gotten it wrong. Yellow given to the goalie as well. It's a yellow for McMullen. Linehole standing over it. Deep into stoppage time. Can Asheville salvage 3 points from what looks like a stalemate? The delivery, looking back post. Smith nods it, free in the box, fired away. Asheville pushing it back forward. And a fair catch made by McMullen. McMullen will start it quickly. Tackled from behind, play on, slid out. As Watt sprinting forward. Room out wide. Slid away. Had to get it right. McCready did just. Probably enough time for a final corner for East Atlanta. Sprinting over to take it, it'll be Feeney. Check that, it'll be a deep throw for East Atlanta. Feeney moving forward, the throw. Near in the box, hammered, it's loose. Top of the box, pushed wide. A foul spotted. As Feeney and Smith have some words. And that will do it, full time. The officials seen enough. And I guess we have two goalies that genuinely deserved a clean sheet.
You're exactly right, and both of these teams came out. East Atlanta dominant in the first half, Asheville I'd say dominant in the second. A match made at Greenwood by these goalkeepers, you're right. McMullen with 2 huge stops on 1v1s where he had to come out and get big and get that technique as well as that physicality just right. Watson clean technically on aerial balls, on forward dives, and then this save coming up against some incredible soccer by McLeod and Robbins to stay on his feet, get the hand up, and then get back down on it.
And somehow pin it between the ground and the post. I thought, for me, McMullen had the second and third best saves on the one-on-ones, which is spectacular. He denied both Barry and Stainrod, and if you can do both of those things one-on-one in the same game, you pretty much deserve a clean sheet.
You're so right, and he deserved a clean sheet as well as Watson, and it's tough to see both of these teams, neither with the result they wanted, but both with some pretty strong results individually in a defensive mindset in terms of goalkeeping as well as attacking, with East Atlanta having Asheville on their back foot the entire first half, and then Asheville coming back and figuring out their attacking formation.
Not the win Asheville had wanted, but perhaps the draw that they needed to sort of right the ship.
Exactly.
We move on. Next match coming up, it'll be Pride Night, Saturday night, Asheville City Women's Soccer Club at 7:30. That'll be a fun one to watch. I'm excited about that. Half of a match coming up next week against Dalton for the men. That'll be next Wednesday. We'll play 45 minutes of soccer that night. Because why not?
Why not?
Who among us hasn't wanted to watch just 45 minutes of soccer? I don't know. It's been a blast. Thank you for joining us. We send you out the right way. These two goalies both deserved a clean sheet, so I feel like it was a just result.
Seems fair to me.
I want to thank Roman Ugel, who's our spectacular camera person, who's done a brilliant job all night. Brian Yohe, our fantastic producer. Our special guest, we want to thank Chris Womack from WLOS for Bronwyn Lutweiler. I'm Matt Stradley saying so long, it's been a blast. East Atlanta 0, Asheville City 0.